And then in terms of editing, this really annoyed me when I came back to the edit. So then I tried to cut around it and then also cut for the performances, because that will always rise above everything. So the kids had great reaction shots and that type of thing. So that's what I wanted to emphasize here. And then there's a Ouija board that's actually copyrighted. So I'm replacing that with original animation, and there's a website, Fiverr, where you can find animators around the world also. So a lot of these things have come up from social media, where you can find things in any budget, really anywhere. You don't need like the Marvel people to do a short animation for you or something like that, you know. Usually I cut myself, but originally I was trying to put it out pretty quickly, so I had an editor working on it, and he was from India. He had worked on a bunch of shows, and he had just moved here, and he had worked on MTV a lot. So I found him on Facebook, actually. And so he already had a pretty good reel, and then he kind of understood the multicultural stuff. So he was editing while we shot. So we did like 3 days, and then I would give him the hard drive, the backup hard drive. So when you're on set nowadays, you should have a regular hard drive and then back it up in case something goes wrong. So he would edit while we were working on set. And so we had a rough cut from him in a week, because he kept editing and he's a professional editor. And then we went back in, and he gave me back, like, I did one set of notes for him, and then I started editing. And the advantage of doing the WebFest circuit of web series was that I didn't have to export a DCP or like a high-end deliverable. So I kind of used it as an audience test. So I could see in the first screening, although we won 2 awards, I was like, oh, this isn't really working. That's not really working. This could be tighter, you know. And then I went back in before that, and I had to update the transitions and things like that. So there are some like transitions where there are holes, and it's sort of like a 60s campy Brady Bunch type of transition. So yeah, for comedy that works. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's comedy. So, and it's like a family comedy, so a Brady Bunch type thing works for this. So then that had to be added for every scene whenever I was editing. So there was like a establishing shot going into every scene. So here you can see we had 1, 2, 3. So when we went in to edit or to shoot multicam for this, so I did a overhead diagram myself that I wanted. 1 camera mounted on the windshield, and then 1 below looking up at Bobby in the back seat, and then a 3rd camera. So I'll show you. So this was our A camera, and then here it's slated. Oh, here. And then this was our B camera. So then you don't have, everything is shooting at the same time, and you don't have problems here. So this was on the window, and then this is the C camera. So this is looking up at him. So God forbid this is the only take we get for some reason. And I went beforehand to Union City, who you called yesterday or the day before, and got the police permits, because this area is near the tunnel to Manhattan. And the first time we were shooting, we got pulled over by the police, the tunnel police, whoever that is. So I didn't want a problem with us. So we did a tech day the day before or 2 days before in case there was a problem, where we just set up the cameras in the car. I got the actual car and tested it. So we worked out all the kinks between the camera crew and myself and did a test run, and any problems we had, we could deal with it before the actors got there. And if any equipment was not working, we still had a day or two before we were actually on set to deal with it. So that's where pre-production is important. So then I selected these, first take of each setup. Some of them were no good, so you select them simultaneously, and then you go into multicam editing. It's one of these, and you import it together, and you have a multicam sequence. So then while you're playing through, you can just hit space bar. So it comes in like this, like one thing, a bulk thing, but it has all three cameras here. So that was our A camera I showed you, B camera, and C camera. And then as you play it, every time you hit space, it will cut automatically. For example, so it turns out like this.
Okay. In essence, how do New Jersey? And Sophia,
See, so the cuts are being made there, and that's like a shortcut, fast edit.
I love your turban, man. Where'd you get it?
Oh, at Party World on Jugobundy Road. It's on the car, right outside Padiala. They actually have a mobile app. Next day delivery.
Nice.
And then I wanted it to be like, he's slightly suspicious, so he's in the dark. So every time we went, we had to time it so we were going through the tunnels to get the maximum darkness. And we had a light between his legs, basically. And then I was in the trunk with the DP and a monitor, the 3 monitors. And they were remote monitors, so sometimes they would go off and you just have to trust what you're doing. And then this created other problems where now it's bumpy, but at least everything matches. So sometimes you go to fix a problem and it creates a different problem. But at least I feel like this is technically better than what we shot before. And then you add in the other little POV shots and other things. See, then we went in tighter. Then this is like another creepy angle. The point was to sell that he's creepy and he's potentially suspicious. And then this is the POV of the driver. So these all now I can dump in for effect, but the main thing took me like just a few minutes just to cut that together. So it can seem like overwhelming. And then this was handheld. It was not mounted. But once you organize yourself and do a test, it works. And then it's actually saving you time here. And then they say shooting multicam, one angle might suffer, but it's okay. Like if you can do it, it's a different style. And for comedy, they classify multicam and single cam as different styles. So One Day at a Time is a multicam TV show, and most of the other ones are single camera. So then when you go for jobs, they ask you what your skill set is. So now I can do both. Like typically you're taught single camera, and multi-camera is something you learn on a job. Usually you won't learn that in a class or something like that. But it's really just combining your shot list. Now on a show, like one day at a time, usually the multicam was done in front of a live audience. So that's where you have the laugh track or the live audience laugh. And so that's why they had multiple angles, because it was like a stage play with the live audience and they had to get at all of the performances at once. But this we're doing as a choice to save time on set and location. So those were some things I wanted to show you.